Hey, and welcome back to Collecting Smoke. I am Razul Wallace, and I am going to continue on in my series of properties that I've owned or acquired over time. And I'm going to do properties six, I'm going to do property number six. Property 6 and 7, I actually closed on them the same day. So I got two properties the same day. I'm going to consider the 4-unit number 6, and I'm going to get into that one with you guys today. So the 6th property that I acquired, it was a 4-family house that I got with a partner, and I actually did a mailer again. In this instance, I got a number of calls. I think I sent out 400 or 500. I probably fielded 40 or 50 calls, and I'll get into mailers and deal finding more specifically in another video. But I fielded about 40 or 50 calls, and I found this solid opportunity. It was again another older gentleman. I think he's in his 70s, but he owned the property for a number of years. He paid off the mortgage, didn't have a mortgage, so he agreed to seller financing. I'll get into seller financing in another video also, and what's the benefits of it, why someone would want to do it. But he agreed to seller finance his 4-family property. When I acquired it, I think the gross income was $3,200 or $3,300 a month, but it was like well below market rents. The purchase price was $235,000. He asked for $35,000 down, and he would hold a note for $200,000 a month at 4% interest. So I think that with a 30-year amortization, but a 5-year balloon. What the balloon means is that at 5 years, the entire balance that we always do. So we either have to figure out where we're going to get all that money, or we're going to sell it or refinance the property so that we can pay him out, and he can wash his hands of it. But the mortgage payment on that $200,000 amortized over 30 years at 4.5% interest is $954.83. Utilities, all 4 units share one boiler, so the heat is included. The utilities average about $580 a month. The property insurance is about $195. The property tax is about $632 a month, and my partner and I each take $500 a month. That leaves about $636 for that we set aside each month for vacancy, repairs, maintenance, and capital expenditures. The gross income now is $4,025 a month. I'll run through that again because that was kind of all over the place. But the first year, my partner and I did not take a dollar out of the property. We reinvested everything. Also, I gotta back up a little bit more in that I actually, when I did the mailer, I did not have the money for the down payment for any of these, but I did the mailer. I found a good deal. We got it under contract, and that contract, along with the numbers and the proposition, is what I used to find a partner. And for the partner, I asked them to bring, I think it was $43,000, because we needed $35,000 for the down payment and some funds for closing costs and some money to be set aside in the account just in case for any incidentals were needed. It did have a really old, outdated electrical system. So from the down payment, we set aside $6,800 to help update it, and that's been a process. It actually just happened now because the original contractor, I think, really way underbid it, and he disappeared when it came time to actually do the work, so we had to find someone else. And it was during a time when the supply chain really limited a lot of the parts that we needed, and they were like 18 months out. So with all that being said, we found another contractor to do the work, and eventually got the parts that we needed, and eventually were able to do the upgrade. But going back to the numbers or the process of it, he wanted a $3,500 deposit, which I did have. So I gave the deposit, and then I had like 30 days to find a partner. I didn't know who it was gonna be, so I just talked to everyone that would listen to me about it. And luckily, my partner had some funds and was looking for an opportunity. So he came up, he looked at the place, I showed him the numbers, and he agreed. We created a partnership agreement, an LLC partnership agreement, a bank account. He put the funds in the bank account, and then we used that to close. And for a year, all the tenants wanted to stay, even with the rent increase, because it was still, even now, it's still, I think, a little bit under market rents, but we're getting closer. There'll probably be a slight rent increase this year. I do have good tenants, and I don't want to, run them away. But I think one of the things that I did my market research. I know that there's no units for rent as low as my units are, even with the increase, and heat is included. So I think that it is a safe bet for me to increase rents. And because I have good tenants, I do try to take care of them and work with them. And if they have a request and it's reasonable and it's within the budget, I try to do that whenever I can. But the numbers for this property are: the gross monthly income is about $4,025 a month. The mortgage is $954.83. Utilities average to $580 a month. We do have key person insurance, which term insurance policy in case anything was to happen to me, since I kind of run the whole thing. And if that happens, then it will pay out enough to pay off the mortgage. And then we have arrangements for how beneficiaries and heirs will be taken care of. Property insurance is $194.67. Property tax is $631.80 a month. And then between my partner and I, we each take $500 a month. I do all the management and take care of everything with the property. He provided the funds. After the first year, even with the renovations that we did, so we evicted one tenant and we renovated that unit. We updated a little bit in some units where necessary, not much, but just for the general maintenance and care of the property, we took some funds out. But we were able to get a little bit of a savings account that we're able to take care of any repairs and maintenance that are needed. We just recently put in some new flooring. We finally got the electrical upgrades done, and we renovated one unit, all from the income from the property and the original proceeds put up by my partner. Yes, but right now it's running pretty smoothly. And I think, at least from my perspective, I think my partner is flexible and open, but I probably would look to sell when the property is worth around $350. Because at $350, he'll make his money back, and then we probably will net a little over $100 together. And I'm thinking that we'll probably take those funds and put them into a bigger property, a larger property, maybe a 1031 exchange that we will hire a property manager for and have like more passive income from. But that is property number 6, I think. And it's running pretty smoothly. There's always issues. You have to account for vacancies, repairs, maintenance, and capital expenditures, because those are absolutes. To just do your numbers off of the mortgage or mortgage and utilities, you're going to be short of some expenses. So make sure that the main numbers that you're looking to account for when you're running your numbers are, you want to figure out the gross income, so all the income from all the units, what your mortgage is, principal and interest, what your taxes and insurance are going to be, your utilities costs. You'll have to figure out what utilities you'll be responsible for to account for that. Vacancies, on average 5% is a good number, because the average renter lives in a unit for about 30 months or 2.5 years. And you'll probably have it vacant for 1 to 2 months while you clean it up to turn it over and get another tenant in there. So if you're looking at 2-month vacancy out of 1 to 2 month vacancy out of 30 months, I would say that's approximately 5%. Vacancy, repairs and maintenance, leaking kitchen sink or leak. From my experience, the most common repairs are leaks. Maintenance is lawn care, snow removal, pest control is the one that will probably have to be considered just on a somewhat consistent basis. And capital expenditures are things that you'll have to do over the course of 30 years of owning a place: a roof, furnaces, water heaters, maybe new flooring, new siding, new windows, things like that. So I hope this gave you some more insight and understanding into what it looks like to be a property owner. Any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments, and I will start to look at them to improve and to relay the best information I can. And with that being said, remember to rein yourself in and have a good day.